thank you for tuning in. If you've been following my channel, welcome back. This is video 14 of my MDS journey, and today I'm sharing my experiences from day plus 50 to day plus 100 after my bone marrow transplant. Today is August 26th, although my 100 days post-transplant was up on August 10th. Those past 50 days were really challenging, and much of the challenge was trying to make arrangements to leave my apartment in Ann Arbor to come back home to Traverse City. However, I am very, very grateful for the progress that I've made. My daughter Lexi stayed with me in Ann Arbor for the entire 100 days, caring for me, teaching me how to manage my IVs, and how to change my tubing. What a blessing, and I am forever grateful. The only thing I need from the home nurse is that she changed my Hickman dressing. During this time, I continued to deal with host versus graft and a rash, which lingered all the way up until day 100. It was a very strange looking rash that eventually went from red to brown, like an odd suntan. Thankfully, by day 100, the rash flaked off completely and my skin was clear. However, my sore mouth issue remains a constant problem. Despite trying different rinses and taking a culture which ruled out both viral and fungal infections, it kind of stumped my bone marrow clinic doctor, and the problem continued. It prevents me from eating anything rough like crackers or chips or anything like with a lot of texture. I also struggle with a lot of meats. I do have to put like sauces on them so that I can eat them. I do rely on smoothies that I add protein to. I just can't wait until I can enjoy food again. Now that I'm home, though, I will see an ENT doctor to take another look at my mouth. Fatigue is another ongoing issue. I usually need at least one nap a day, especially in the morning, which the mornings are particularly tough for me. I've experienced low blood pressure, which tires me out even more. My magnesium pump was reduced from 7.5 to 3.5 hours, but during that time, I still took 800 milligrams of magnesium. This also can add to additional fatigue. Despite all this, I'm committed to doing 30 minutes of yoga at least every other day, and it has really helped my strength. Another new issue I've noticed is an increase in urinary urgency due to the chemo. I've heard from other patients that this is common, and I'm hoping that it resolves with time, but I'm keeping an eye on it, and if it doesn't, I'll speak to the clinic, the bone marrow clinic, about this issue. I have a very brilliant bone marrow doctor. However, communication has been a struggle. I often rely on the PA and pharmacist to get my questions answered. As August 10th approached, and Lexi's leave was up and she had to go back home. My lease in Ann Arbor was also ending, and I felt some anxiety, which I'd never felt during this whole journey, as I had these unanswered questions about going home. On August 7th, I went into the clinic for my appointment, and I explained that Lexi had left, my lease was up, and I'm going home. I asked for a referral for a home care nurse and a social worker to help me figure out rides from Traverse City to Ann Arbor. It was just a reminder that sometimes you just have to speak up for yourself, especially when you know it's the right thing to do. Upon discharge home, The doctor wanted to see me. Well, first he wanted to see me weekly, and I said that's just not possible for me to take that drive. And then he's agreed to twice a month in Ann Arbor. And he's also one of the very few doctors that will not do virtual visits. The 5-hour drive each way to Ann Arbor is exhausting. I lost my husband recently to cancer, so I have no caregiver at home, and I cannot drive while on tacrolimus. I found a service that would fly me down at least once a month, but my bone marrow doctor refused to sign the consent for no specific reason. So I took it to my primary physician at home, who signed it immediately after discussing with me my labs and going over some of my health records. And what he said is there's absolutely no reason that I could not take an hour plane ride versus being in a car, which is much more difficult. Again, just don't ever give up when you know it's the right thing to do. Now that I'm home, I'm isolating due to a compromised immune system, and I have not been having visitors. I do go out for the essentials like grocery shopping, but I always wear a mask and I carry my hand sanitizer. I did go to my daughter's wedding, and which was so very magical. It was so good to see people. I had my own canopy, so I wasn't in the sun, and I wore a mask, and I kept my distance from others. Hence, that is why this video is late getting out. Just we were busy with the wedding. For those of you getting ready for a bone marrow transplant or healing from a bone marrow transplant, when you think you've had enough, think about, keep your eye on the future. Fight the good fight. Finish the race. Keep the faith. You got this. Be sure to tell your story in the comments, or if you have questions, I would be more than happy to answer them. God bless you until next time. Thank you for tuning in.